So let's start.
2 p.m.
Okay. Alright, so
hello.
you just hold it.
All right.
That's
awesome. Thank you, sir.
You guys are the actor?
Yep.
All right. You guys don't know who I am, right? No. No. You don't know who I am and you don't know what I'm doing here, right? Okay, good. Do me a favor. I'll give you a signal. You guys all count down from 10 as loud as you can. Trust me. Just do what I'm telling you to do, okay? Okay? Because I'm freaked out. One Man Street Shakespeare begins in
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Macbeth! Act 1, Scene 7, evening. Macbeth's castle. Macbeth, Lady Macbeth. Macbeth has doubts about killing the king. If it were done, when it is done, and to will it were done quickly. If the assassination could travel up the consequence and catch with its surcease success, that but this blow, here but here, upon this vacant shoulder time will jump the life to come. But in these cases, we still have judgment here, that we but teach bloody instructions which being taught return to plague the inventor. This even-handed justice commends the ingredients of our poison chalice to our own lips. It's here double trust. First as I am a subject, and his kinsman stronghold against the deed, then as his host, who should against his murderer shut the door and I bear the knife myself. Besides, this Duncan had borne his faculties so meek, had been so clear in his great office that his virtues will plead like angels, trumpet tongue against the deep damnation of his taking off, and pity like a naked newborn babe striding the blast of heaven's cherubim hoist upon the sightless courtiers of the air shall blow the horrid deed, and every eye that tear shall drown the wind. I have no spur to criticize at my intent, but only vaulting ambition, which o'erleaps itself and falls on the other. On out, what news? He is almost sapped. Why have you left the chamber? Have he asked for me? No, you not, he has. We will proceed no further in this business. He hath honored me of late, and I have bought golden opinions from all sorts of people, which would be worn now in their newest claws. That cast aside so soon. Was the hook drunk wherein you dressed yourself? Hath it slept since and wakes it now to look so green and pale, it did so freely from this time? Such I count thy love. Art thou feared to be the same, and I don't act? And valor is our art and desire. Wouldst thou have that which thou esteemest the ornament of life, and live a coward in thine own esteem? Letting I dare not wait upon thy word like the poor cat in the adage. Peace! I dare to all that may become a man who dares to more is none. But peace was then that made you break this enterprise to me. When you just do it, then you were a man. To be more than what you were, you would be so much more than man. Nor time, nor place did then adhere, yet you would make both. They have made themselves, and that their fitness now is unmade. I have given suck, and know how tender it is to love the babe that milks me. I would, while it was smiling in my face, I plucked my nipple from his boneless gums, and dashed the brains out, but I so sworn, as you have done to this. If we should fail, we fail. Screw your courage to the sticking place, and will not fail. Soundly about him, his two chamberlains will I, with mine and myself so convinced that memory, the warder of the brain, shall be a fume in the receipt of reason, a limbeck on When in swinish sleep, their trenchant natures lies in death. What can I do when I perform upon the unguarded Duncan? What not put upon his spongy officers who shall bear the guilt of our great quell? Bring forth men, children only, for I, undaunted metal, should compose nothing but males. Will it not be received when we have marked with blood those sleepy two of his own chamber and used their very daggers that they have done it? They shall see the other, as we shall make our griefs clamor and roar upon his death. I am so, and bend up each corporal agent to this terrible feat. Awake, and mock the time the fair show, false face must hide, what the false heart doth know.
I met Ralph Speare about Yeah, I know it so well. Thank you. Yeah. I need pretty hard to double check that too.
My name was not on
there. Sorry. We met 4 or 5 years ago at the Actors Movement Studio in New York, where I was teaching a workshop, and he was assisting in running the operation that one. And he is now embarked upon an incredible journey in which he is riding his bicycle across the country, performing his one-man Shakespeare show in cities, and seeking out audiences who have never seen theater before in these cities. Yesterday, he came to talk to me about riding his bicycle up to 8 Mile, just to explore the border and to perform his one-man show. And I thought, what a perfect way to start the semester for the applied theater people, but also as an inspiration for all theater students that you can make theater and it can have resonance with the community. And it's just one of those many, many imaginative and ways to approach theater, and in this case, one that has high impact on community. So I'd love it if you could describe the whole project, Ralph, and then maybe a little time for questions and answers. And we have about 15 minutes with Ralph. So thank you very much.
I don't want to reiterate. But yeah, my name is Ralph. I'm a Speare. I've been riding my bike around the United States for the last, it's a little over 7 months now. And I've just been riding around the United States just doing what you just saw. And yeah, I don't know. I guess I don't really have, Lavinia was so eloquent, so I don't really have much to say. If you guys have questions, just tell me your name.
Ivy.
Ivy, nice to meet you.
Yes, sweet. Where have you been so far?
Well, I started riding from Tampa, Florida at the very end of January, and I rode from Tampa to San Diego, California. Then from San Diego, California, I rode up to Seattle, Washington, and then from Seattle, I flew to Chicago, and I've been riding since Chicago.
Wow.
Can you talk about some of the people you met and what their reactions were to what you did?
I mean, I think you get all kinds of reactions. For the most part, if people relent to my badgering and do actually just give me 5 minutes and watch the scenes, they're usually surprised. I mean, some people are, you know, maybe people who have college degrees and go see a lot of theater, maybe are theater people. And, oh, that was cool. And some people are people who never go to theater at all. And I don't know. It's hard for me to tell because, like, even just now, like, in my head when I'm performing, I'm just like, oh, these people are bored. I gotta hurry up. Like, so I don't know. I never can tell. But people are usually very, very gracious and kind. Sometimes people donate and whatever. And sometimes people stay to the next day. So most of the time I would say that I get a positive reaction. So yeah, but you never know. I don't know. I'm the wrong person to ask about that, but I have tried to. If you guys check out my blog, you can see like I post pictures and video of a lot of the different audiences that I've had all through my trip. So you can see who the people are that I perform for, and they let me take a picture of them, so they must not hate it. What's your name?
I'm Sarah.
Sarah.
And I'm Kennedy. Hi. Is your ultimate goal like just awareness in theater, or is it like bigger? Like, are you trying to touch souls of America, or is it really just about?
It's way smaller.
Way smaller.
I mean, for me, I'm just I'm just an entertainer. That's all I am. Like, I don't, like, guy who fixes pipes as a plumber, a guy who builds shelves as a carpenter. I'm just an entertainer. Like, I don't aspire to touch anyone, so I just have some stories that I think are cool, and I just go out and like creating with people, as best as I can. I don't know if I'm touching someone's soul. I mean, I don't know about it.
Hi, I'm Mary.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if you could tell us a little bit about how this idea was conceived. Like, tell us about what were you doing right before you came up with this idea, and then what were the things that inspired you and motivated you to make this happen?
Well, probably the biggest thing is one of my best friends in New York. I'm from Brooklyn. I live there normally, and so about a year ago, a little over a year ago, one of my best friends in New York passed away, and so I was kind of in a tailspin in New York at that time, and I'm very project oriented. If I'm not doing a theater project, at any point, I don't know why I'm alive. I'm not sure what I'm supposed to be doing. So I didn't have one at that point, and for a long time in New York is like, it's very hard to take control of your career and what you want to do, and because you're always chasing after an agent or an equity card, blah blah blah. And so I just wanted to be able to perform where I wanted, how I wanted, for whom I wanted, and most importantly, what I wanted. Because quality control to me is real important, and you're only as good as your material. And you're only as good as your materials. That's worth repeating. So anybody who's like, man, even a bad actor can take bad material, or even a great actor can take great material, or bad material and make it better, blah, blah, blah. You know what I want to say. Like, that's not true. You're only as good as your material. If you don't start there, you may as well not even start. Period. That's how I feel. Anyway, so I wanted to control the quality of the material I was doing, where and how and what I perform. I wanted to be a street performer, but street theater is not that common, it's not that big, and then at least not in this country, and especially not one-man street theater. So I couldn't figure out how to do this, and then there's an actor that's worth looking up. His name is Klaus Kinski, and he's a German or Polish actor, and he was one of the main actors. He did a lot of films with Werner Herzog. I don't know if you guys know who that is. He did that Bad Lieutenant movie that came out with Nick Cage a few years ago. He's a pretty famous German director. He's done all kinds of movies, great movies. And so Werner Herzog is the actor who used to work with him, and Werner Herzog is crazy. He's insane. And if you just Google him, you will see, like, YouTube this guy. He's insane. One of the things I found out about him is that he had fled Germany, I think, after World War II, and was on the streets and didn't have any money. And one of the ways he made money was reciting Shakespeare and poetry on the streets. And then I realized, because I couldn't figure out an angle to do street theater and what I wanted to do, and then I realized, I can do Shakespeare, and this is how. I couldn't figure out how to make it work. And the way to make it work is you have to be crazy. Because there's no way this can work unless you're that committed to the story and what you're doing. There's no way it can work. I mean, this is Detroit. People will eat you alive if you're out there on the street and you're not ready to fight for what you're doing. So once I realized that, then I was like, oh, I can do Shakespeare in the street. So I had that idea, and then I was thinking, well, because there's this idea also of, metaphorically, I'm going to do like so in New York, every actor wants their equity card, right? Because you really can't make money unless you have your equity card as a stage actor. But the way most people do it, I'm from New York, I moved right back there. What most people do is take the regional route, get their points and their cards somewhere else, and then go to New York. And at a certain point, I stopped caring about getting my equity card, but I did like that idea of going everywhere else and then making my way back to New York. Like old vaudeville performers did. Like, they go everywhere else, and then if you're lucky, you get to play in New York. You know what I mean? So that was my idea. I just wanted to go around the country, and then I thought, well, how will I do that? I was going to take up on So it all just, and the idea all just fell in one day, like all at once. So, and right before that, I was thinking about teaching an acting class that fell apart. Because I was a teaching artist during the school year, and I was doing anything over the summer, and I was going to teach an acting class, and that fell apart because I didn't want to teach at that point, I just wanted to perform. So then this happened.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
I know you told me you're staying with Dave Speare while you're here.
Yeah, Dave
And is
Speare.
that also part of your plan? You stay with actors who live in different cities that people recommend or that you know?
Yeah, I mean, I'm lucky enough because because where I went to school, I went to Savannah College of Art and Design for undergrad with David Speare. And because of where I went to school and just living in New York, I just happened to have friends all over the country. So I've been able to stay with people from time to time, but they're very spread out. So in between, I've had to camp out, I've slept in truck stops, I've slept in alleys, I've slept in campsites. And then there's a really great network called Warm Showers. It's like couch surfing, but it's more for white people. So I've used that a lot. So yeah, I've just kind of done that. See where I can.
Hi, I'm Lois. I would like to know if in Detroit, have you performed on the street in the city?
Yeah, let's get into some water. Yeah, yesterday, let's see. Oh, there's a great story. So near David's house where I'm staying, which is right down the street, I'm walking down the street and there's this apartment with these tables outside. And while I'm walking down, this dude's like, "Hey man, are you Urkel?" And then this other guy is like, "Hey man, why you wear your pants like that, man?" And then so
of course,
gave me so much sass. I'm like, "Oh, this is the show. I have to do this." So I go up to them and I tell them what I'm doing, and this guy's like, "Oh yeah, yeah, I know a lot about Shakespeare, yeah." Let's see. And yeah, so I do. So I perform for them, and afterwards, you know, they give me a real hard time. It was like two guys standing behind me right across the street watching, and they're not moving, and then these guys are like talking while I'm performing. And one guy named Bob was just drunk and talking the whole time. Go see this guy while I'm doing my scene. But at the end, they were really gracious and real nice. One guy gave me a donation. So yeah, and then yesterday I rode up to 8 Mile and performed for whoever I saw out there. So I did a couple scenes up there.
8 Mile and what?
Woodward.
I was just all over, like I was at 9 Mile, I was all in that area.
Thanks.
Do you mind if I make a suggestion of
Please.
this?
Well, I'm leaving today.
Where are you heading to?
I'm heading south to Toledo.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You should make a pit stop right before you reach Grosse Point. There's a street called Alter, and to the left of it is pure ghetto, and then to the right of it is like $1 million really rich people. So you have literally a street where you look this way and it's one thing, you look that way and it's another. And it's very interesting demographic-wise, and I think it will probably have a really big impact, and you can affect a lot of kinds of people within a block.
The street is called
Alter. And Mac and Jeff, you can take Jefferson east, and for like 10 minutes, and you'll hit Alter.
Okay.
But it's literally 10 minutes.
Okay. There's to that point, I just want to say one last thing. I guess maybe this would be it. So people ask me a lot, like, and this is my own personal opinion. This doesn't have to be your gospel, whatever. But people ask me a lot, like, oh, or they'll say to me, like, oh, you're bringing culture to these people, like, oh man, and oh, it's cool that you're doing Shakespeare. It's like bring some classes here, or whatever they're saying. And for me, I'm not the guy to bring class anywhere. And I mean, like I really mean when I say like, well, I mean, let me try to say this without saying things out. But like what we do is important because we're storytellers. We continue to tell the story of our culture and blah blah blah, and it's super important. But at the same time, like we are also just song and dance people. Like we, you know what I mean, we put a hat out, that's basically what we're doing. You know what I mean? Like, and I think it's really important for us not to, because that's what keeps most of Detroit and every other American away from the theater, because we're like, oh, we're bringing culture and da 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 and Shakespeare and blah blah blah. You know what I mean? Like, we're entertainers, and the best you can do that is great, and the dignity you can have doing that is great. But we have to remember that that's just what we are, and we're just if we want to say something important or blah, blah, our job first is to entertain. To be able to say something important politically or wherever else is a privilege. That comes after. Your job first is to make sure that you hit that mark as fast as you can so you get that laugh. So that, you know, I mean, the stakes in the scene are as high as they can be so that people are really invested in it. I mean, I'm not trying to give you acting tips. I don't know about that. But I'm just saying your job is to thrill people, get people to laugh, and get people to have fun. All kinds of people. You know, I mean, tell a story that, you know, the person on the rich, snooty side of town and the ghetto, poor side of town can all get. That's your job. And then everything else after that, all that other lofty stuff, I guess it'll come. But if you're aiming for that, you're probably in the wrong field. I feel like, you know, we're song and dance people, and our job is to do the best we can, I think. Yes.
Ralph, which selections do you have in your Shakespeare repertoire?
I do 2 scenes from Macbeth, 2 scenes from Hamlet, Julius Caesar, Romeo and Juliet, and 12th Night.
Sweet. I can't speak for everybody else, but I want to see more.
Oh, well, I don't think we have. Do we have time? No, we don't have time. I'm sorry, but if you go on our blog, you can see there's like a video of me.
Sure, please.
Okay.
Actually,
I just want to go over your time.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's.
Speare bearer.
Thank you so much.